Oh my gosh, we're live.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
I'm so excited to be back, honestly. It's been
You
a
know
long
how
time
long it's
coming.
been?
Didn't we discuss it earlier? It's like 9 months.
9 months, which, yeah, we were talking about it earlier. And for me, it hasn't felt that long. And for Laura, you said it feels longer than that.
Yeah. Also, we started a podcast, what, after 4 months of knowing each other? 3 months?
It's
Less
kind
than
of
that?
crazy to think, are we okay?
We were just like, hey, I just met you, but do you want to start a podcast? And then
Yeah.
we were going strong. And then as we'll get into, our life kind of like flipped upside down, but like in a great way. So
Yeah,
that's been
that's
exciting.
kind of just what we want to talk about today is really just what has gone on in our lives over the past 9 months, because that is a long period of time, almost a year.
Yeah.
And there's been quite a lot of change for both of us. Also, I think in the last episode, episode 5, we were talking about dating,
Yeah.
specifically kind of, you being single at
Yes.
the time.
What a wild ride.
And so Laura was dating and I was still unemployed. So do you kind of want to talk about how things have changed on your end first?
Yes. So I have a boyfriend now, which has been like such a wonderful change. Wow. Everyone approves. He's literally so wonderful. Um, but yeah, and then also I I had like done some like jobs here and there in the styling and stuff, but now I think I might have touched on it episodes before. And I mean Abby had been talking about it for a while, but I am a cart girl at one of the golf courses that I work at, and I have so much fun doing it. And I love all the girls that I work with, and it's a good time. It's a nice job. Get to do events and stuff like that, so that's fun.
Hmm.
And
You really
Abby,
manifested that too. You were like, what I want to do is I want to be a cart girl. And just like that, within like a week, I swear, of you saying that.
yeah, I texted my dad. I mean, luckily, I do live in a neighborhood with a golf course, and my dad also works at the golf course, so it wasn't that hard of a stretch,
Well, you
but it
still
was
you
great.
still did it.
I still did it. I
Um,
did it. It was fun.
and yeah,
And
for
Abby,
me, I was unemployed before, but now I'm not. Woo! It's actually
woo!
such an amazing job. I love it. And I feel like it's not that common where you hear people say like, "Wow, I love my job." So I'm so grateful for that. But the last episode that we made, when I met up with Laura, was for a job interview. And then I didn't really want to talk about it that much just in case something fell through. But luckily I got it. And it's really great. Now I get to go visit my family because the headquarters are more toward them. So it's been really, I've loved it. So yeah, I'm employed. Laura's employed. And
Abby had a
Laura
wedding.
has a boyfriend now. And I had a wedding. Yes, that's all. I did have my wedding. And, you know, I was wedding planning was not fun for me, but the actual day of the wedding, I had so much fun. And waking up the next day, I was like, wow, I am so glad I don't have to wedding plan anymore. So now I'm like spending all my creative time like redoing my house. So
That's really
so
fun.
that's what's going on.
Yep, yep. So the job, the wedding, just lots of the boyfriend, all the nice, wonderful things. So big
Oh,
changes.
I
Um,
think I spy flowers behind you.
oh my gosh, yes, my bestie. I don't know if you'll
They're
know her name
so
is Abby. I can't pick them up. Oh,
yeah, I got Laura those. Tell me those don't just scream Laura though. I love it.
they're so gorgeous. I love all the different intricates of them. They're so beautiful. Thank you so much, my sweet
Of
Abby
course, and
girl.
Laura,
Here.
Laura delivered flowers, to my house, like, right before the wedding, and I literally almost every time I would pass them, I would, like, start tearing up. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she's such a good friend," and I was like, "The least I could do is return the favor," so
She's
thank
very
you,
sweet.
and flowers die, of course, but the vase will live on.
It's so pretty too. This is like my vibe. I'll have this probably the
I
rest of my life.
know.
It's so
I'm
pretty. It
glad.
goes with me.
And
So
what else? Both of us were talking about how just in the past 9 months since we last recorded, we both have had so many great life things going on. And Laura, today you were kind of mentioning that like the fog has lifted off of
I
you.
1000%. So if you haven't listened to our other episodes or anything like that, I became April of 2023. I became a widow after I was in a relationship with my husband for 11 years. And it was a really, really rough relationship. And there are other details and stuff that I'll probably eventually get into. But yeah, just after him passing, I just really was lost for a while. And I'm still not like, I wouldn't say like back where I want to be 100%, but I definitely feel like I can breathe again and that I'm myself again and that like I can be present because I think a lot of my time was just like trying to distract or like numb or just get through all of it.
Mhm.
Like you kind of have to lose yourself to find yourself sometimes. And, some of the things you're like, wish I wouldn't have done that.
I mean, you
But
were kind of just trying to survive for most of it,
yeah,
I
so I
feel.
kinda gotta give myself some grace,
Mhm.
because once again, I'll go into details some later, but it was really, really rough, so
Right. And I met Laura during like post that happening. And then
yeah,
I also met Laura when I had been laid off from my last job. And so I feel like, just the couple episodes leading up to this one, we were really like, both of us were kind of like, ugh.
yeah.
But now, I mean, things are going a lot better. And weirdly enough, we've kind of manifested everything that's happened. So go us, I guess.
Whoop,
We're
whoop.
going to have to do more of that. Also, the other day, I don't remember what exact day. I have it in my calendar, but it was our 1 year friendship anniversary. By the way, I realize this is insane. Nobody keeps track of the day that they become friends with somebody, but
We do.
I just so happened to do that.
We
So
just
we've
love
been
our
friends for
friendship
only
so
1 year,
much.
but it's been great.
Yes. It's been it's been great, yeah, like,
Yeah.
Abby's such a wonderful human being and
Aw.
such a wonderful friend, and I really at the right moment, she came into my life, and we feel the same way, and we can get
Yeah,
all
it's actually
emo about it,
really
honestly.
it's crazy. I don't know. The timing of it was just crazy. But
Right.
we both wanted to talk about just kind of like everything we've learned about ourselves and each other in the past 9 months. Because I'm not even joking. I feel like I have seen two completely different versions of Laura, maybe even more than two. I'm not sure, but
Facts.
every single version I've loved, but like especially in the past 9 months, I just feel like for both of us, there's just been a lot that we've learned. So, what has changed for you over the last 9 months, and how has it affected kind of who you are today?
Um, Kinda like I touched on earlier, the fog has lifted, the year mark of my, husband's death passing. Really, the first year is survival mode, and that's kinda like whatever that means to you. Um, so I think that had once that had passed, I kind of just felt like I could breathe again. And then I don't know, like I had just started dating or whatever the last time that we touched on this, probably like end of November, beginning December to about March. And really, I think in May, I kind of was like, okay, I was just kind of dating, seeing what's out there, like having fun. I still wanted to like continue that mindset, but I also like put myself out there, but I wanted to like be more intentional about it. And really, like the weekend, I like sat down and like really thought about it and really like had a come to Jesus moment where I was like, okay, that funny enough, at the time I didn't know, but was going to be the same weekend that me and my boyfriend we met on a dating app and we started talking. And so it just is like really I kind of felt like I was on the verge. Like, I think I made a TikTok about it in like March or April, being like, okay, I think I'm ready to date, guys. And like, I kind of knew I was on the verge of it. Um, but it's just weird how like life really shows you. And
Hmm.
it really just like, I, I just feel like a weight has kind of been lifted off my chest with like, I don't feel so heavy all the time. And also, like, it's just nice to like, I mean, we haven't been dating for very long, but I feel like me and him had some really really heavy conversations and really like how we see life and how we want our futures to be, and a lot of that is, like, really most of it's really, really, really aligned, and so that's helpful, and I think we just, like, want the same things out of life, and so, like, now planning a future with somebody is just, like it's just nice to be able to, like, look forward and be like not be like, "Oh, what is this gonna look like? How are we gonna do this?" You know
Mhm.
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
more it feels more stable and steady, and I think it has a lot to do with him because he's just kind of a stable and steady person, but also I think it has a lot to do with just, like, the time frame that I was, like, in the right space to meet somebody. Like, we
Mhm.
talk about it all the time, like, my husband would have had to die at the time that he did. We had to meet at a certain time, like, he had had, like, past relationships, he had to not be in those, like, it just all had to work out, and sometimes we don't really understand God's timing, and then it happens, and you're like, "Whoa, this
Mhm.
is why none of this was working out before," and then you're like, "This has been one of the best things that's happened to me," so
Suddenly everything makes sense. You're
and
like,
suddenly it all
"Oh."
makes sense, and I just, like with the job too, and just, like, I'm around people, like, anything other work I've done, like, I wasn't ever around anyone or, like and I used to do, like, ship shopping or, like, styling, like, I just, like or, like, going TikTok live all the time, like, that's virtual, but, like, it was just nice to, like, get out there and, like, talk and, like, have these girls that I work with who are great and, like, just socialize, like, that really helped my confidence and just, like,
Mhm.
now, like, I just feel like I can be a better mom and be more present and just, and then after the year mark or whatever, like, that it just all of the timing.
Even just how you and I met as friends, like,
Yeah.
if I didn't get laid off and didn't have a job, I wouldn't be able to just sit on TikTok live and, like, converse with people, and, like, you don't go live much anymore at all, and so I'm like, "Wow, there's a very small window of time," and luckily that that happened, and same with, how you met your, boyfriend, which, by the way, we love. Ty, my husband, has also met him on FaceTime, and they're also buddies. He's just someone where I'm sure you could just take him anywhere and know that you're golden. Like, he's great. He's really him and Laura are such a good match. Like, I've never met a male version of you until him, and I love this.
Oh, yeah, he's just sort of grounded than I am, which is good because 'cause I'm kinda bopping around a lot, which he's so much fun, but, yeah, it's funny, Mary Allison says that all the time. "He's your perfect match, mom," and I'm like, "Where
It's
did you
true.
get this from?" But
Yeah.
it's really sweet.
She
It's
knows, she knows.
yeah, my kids have met him, my parents have met him, so, my kids adore him, and my parents like him a lot, so that's really great, so
He's really great. We love.
so, Abby, so what have you learned about yourself over this past 9 months, and how do you think it's affected you today?
So I journal sometimes, not as often as I feel like I should, but I usually don't go back and read them, like my journal entries, but I did, a couple months ago, I went back and read basically the journal entries from, like, when my life was kind of meh, like, I had gotten laid off my job and, like, I just had moved to Arizona. It was just a lot going on, and so I started reading from that first journal entry until, like, basically just the last one a month ago, and I was able to kind of reflect on just how much I've grown, and it's actually, like, if anybody doesn't go back and read your journal entries, I highly, highly suggest it because I feel like sometimes I just write something down and I, like, close it and I forget about it, but then when you go back, it's like, "Whoa, I do remember feeling that type of way, like nothing was gonna get better almost or something," or just like you're not as hopeful maybe, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Wow, I am so grateful that I, like, just held, hope and, like, everything worked out really." I think the biggest thing I've learned is that, like, the second I step outside of my comfort zone, just like the everything all this good energy starts flowing in, and it's like anytime that I recognize, oh, like, there's a fear of some sort. Like, for example, I wanted a job that was remote because I don't like to travel and I don't want to go into an office. But for this job, I had to travel for the interview, and, like, even that was just, like, kind of a scary thing for me, but I just did it, and, like, I have never had so much fun with, like, my colleagues and, like, all the people I've met in other states, and I don't know, it's really made me grow a lot as a person, and so I think as soon as I step out of my comfort zone, that's like when I really start living. And so now anytime suspect like, oh, this is a little scary, I'm like, I gotta lean into that because I know it always will like pay off.
Yeah.
And then, now traveling, when I do have to travel, I get excited. I'm not scared. It's actually like really fun.
Hmm.
I also have learned, and Laura, I would like to thank you for this too, is to trust myself because, I will look for like validation before I do something or approval from someone else. Like
Middle
the
child.
biggest thing is, what'd you say?
Middle child.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is that is the truth. But like even before I would go anywhere, I'd be like, Laura, like I would wait for her to respond to tell me if my outfit works or not. And then she was like, we were playing that game, it was like suspect on TikTok, was it like suspect is, and then you kind of roast them. And she's like, what'd you say? It was like suspect.
Suspect has really good taste, but like still needs to be validated that her outfit looks good. And I'm like,
And
girlfriend,
that
yeah.
is it was so true. And it still kind of is. But I just have been like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Like for my home decor right now, I'm like, I mean, I lean on people sometimes, but I'm like, I'm just gonna trust my vision. And sure enough, it's like all coming together. But I think that just in general, it's like trusting myself more because I feel like I don't need anyone else to validate anything I do. But
Nope.
I don't know.
You
That's
got
the
this.
other what?
You got this.
Thank you. And also like I've learned how to learn to enjoy things that I don't really want to do, like the wedding. I just didn't
Mhm.
want to plan it. I didn't like that. And I learned to like really toward the end, mostly I learned to just let go and have fun. And it really that was the best thing I could have done. So I guess that's what I've learned. A lot has happened in the past 9 months though. So
A lot has
like,
happened in that. I know it. When we like list it out, we're like, oh, only really this, but like,
but they're pretty major things. Like
yeah, and just like they really can affect you and your mental health and just where you are and kind of just
exactly.
give you hope and stuff. So that's been
Mhm.
really nice.
Right. What have you learned about yourself throughout just the past 9 months, year, I would say?
Um, I think within losing myself a little bit, I kind of reevaluated like and I nothing crazy, guys, but just like when I say lose myself, I didn't mean like completely. I just like probably did a lot of things that like healthy, normal Laura wouldn't do. Um, but it just like made me realize that like what really is important to me and what do I really want to prioritize and how really do I want my life to turn out and to be and to look and cutting out a lot of things that don't align with my end goal and what I want for my life and my future and my kids' future. And so, it's scary. Because I think just like a lot of it was just like I just wanted to be distracted. Like it just like I couldn't handle everything that was going on. And so it's just like a little easier to just distract myself and focus on things that like I normally don't focus on or don't care about. And, just even spending time with people that like I probably wouldn't have, you know what I mean? And so I think that was just like a learning curve for me to be like, oh, like what is important to you and really like refocusing on that. Cause I think for a lot of years,
Hi.
I love you.
Aw.
My marriage was really tough for a lot of years. And I think even like I talk about the survival mode after he passed away, I don't think I realized how much survival mode I was in first. Like I was in fight or flight for most of my life. And I don't think I really grasped what that is and really like just doing things to appease people and Tim and not really able to like be myself. Because of course you make compromises in marriage, but there was just things that you like, I'm just not going to do this because I don't want to start a fight, like stuff like that.
Yeah. And I would say there's been things that you have had to choose to let go of in order to like get to the place you are now where like you met this great guy that now you're dating. Like you've had to like let go of certain things in your life to be able to move forward, and that's not easy to do ever. So
No,
you like
no.
had to consciously make that choice, and I feel like it
Yeah.
was the best thing for you too.
Yeah, I mean, I still probably struggle with, trust, and it's not even, like, trusting someone else, it's really just, like, trusting myself to know that I'm making the right decision because I think I realized I put myself in some not great things, and then I just kind of stuck with it, and maybe, like, we realized later on that, like, we weren't super compatible, like, even though there was a lot of love there, but, like, we weren't super compatible, um, talking about my late husband, and so I think, like, you just like, you don't and there's, like, incidents that happen that I'm like, "Why didn't you walk away?" Or, "Why didn't you do this?" Or, "Why how could you believe somebody when they clearly were gonna do the opposite?" And so, like, you lose that trust in yourself, and so then, like, you're, like, always looking for something, to go wrong because 'cause you're like, "I don't wanna put myself in another situation," or whatever.
Right.
And so I've had to kinda let that go and just know that, like, everything's gonna all work out and, like, you have good decision making skills, Laura, and you are good at trusting yourself, and you are a good
Mhm.
person, and you deserve love, and, like, all of that is, like, really hard to
Mhm.
grasp and trust, but, it's been a conscious decision for sure, and to not
Yeah.
self-sabotage and whatever, so
Yeah.
I'm just glad that, like, my friends and family are just, like, really always very patient and kind, and that's the only way I
Yeah.
could have done it. So,
And I also think like, your friends and family, we all know that like we trust what you're doing for yourself, and it's just a matter of you have to trust your own self, which I've seen you do so much.
thank you.
And it's something where it's like until you're in that situation where you have to learn how to trust like that, trust other people, trust yourself, it's like it doesn't probably make much sense of why that could be hard, but that's a very tough thing to do. But
Mhm.
you've been really, really good with it. Like
Thank you.
I
Abby's
can't
had to talk me
even
off the ledge a few times,
well,
but
you have for me too. So
hold on one
likewise.
second.
I would say the same thing though. Like what I've learned about myself is also to trust myself because I tend to just like build things up in my head. Like, what if it
Mhm.
goes this way or that way? And it's just like sometimes I've just learned it's best to just do it and like be prepared for what it is that you're doing. The
Here it
queen.
is. It is the tiny queen princess. Hello.
Hi, Mary Austin. Hi, queen. Yeah, same thing for me. Like just learning to rely on myself and trust myself, even if I'm not sure if I know what I'm doing. Like I always look back and I'm like, I knew what I was doing. Like I just need
Yeah.
to trust that. And also to lean into uncomfortable things because
Mhm.
that's like where growth starts happening. So
Um, Honestly, that's like our next question was gonna be like, what have we noticed about each other in the past 9 months and the changes we made? And that was gonna be mine for you is like really just watching you like trust yourself and like gain your own confidence. So I think you are like a confident person, but I think we all just like kind of get in our own head about it. And
mhm,
it's just like something I don't know that I think more people talk about it now, but not always have talked about like, oh, yeah, like I am confident, like I am that girl, but like
mhm, mhm.
also like when at the end of the day when you're relying on yourself, you're like, am I though? Like,
Laura and I were talking about like how have we noticed each other like grow in just the past year, 9 months. And like I can't even describe like it's crazy how much you have grown and like your spirals now are not like they're not crazy anymore. They're just very like you're I don't know, you just have come a very far way and you've like
too.
learned to kind of not overanalyze things before they happen. You just kind of are also just going with things and you have had to have like uncomfortable conversations with people and you've had to do all this like just like mental processing and growing, but it seems like it
Yeah.
has come so naturally for you and like I feel like your past self would be very proud and actually probably very surprised of like how I guess far you've come and like you've chosen this. You've chose okay, I'm going to work on myself and like in your friendships work together and like grow together with your friends and your family and your boyfriend. There are people who I've had in my life who will be single and be like a great friend and have all this time. And I think that's normal. When you're single, you have more time to talk to your friends and
Yeah.
grow a relationship. And then there are friends that I've had where they get in a relationship and then it's kind of like poof, gone. You're not
Yeah.
important to me anymore. And I'll put you in the back burner. I feel like our friendship just keeps growing. And I just feel
Yeah.
like it's because you're never gonna just like drop people who matter to you. And I don't know, I just like really appreciate that too, because it's just sometimes it is hard. You're adding a new person like who's your partner, your
Yeah.
boyfriend,
I mean,
like that's a huge new part of your life that you're sharing with. But in this situation, like her boyfriend is like my friend too now. Like we have
yeah,
like FaceTime dates and stuff.
we
It's
really
not
do.
like
It's
just
so
me and
great.
him. That would be weird. But
No.
the three of us,
Yes,
double
the 3
date.
of us, and then sometimes, Ty comes in, so Abby's husband, and that's fun too. So,
It is
we're
fun.
all buddies, and, yeah, I mean, we don't me and Abby, we're literally on FaceTime 24/7, and so we don't, do that quite as much anymore, but I think that's also, I'm more busy in general
Mhm.
because I have more motivation to not be in my 4 walls of my home. I think we're
Different, but
both very intentional about, always making it work and, answering when we can and, I'll call you back or whatever, just
yeah.
because 'cause we're important to each other. I think we always will be, so
Exactly. I have seen you really start to be like, okay, I really do deserve these great things. Like I do, and
yeah,
that's you should.
I definitely, have struggled with that for sure. Um, it's like, do I
Me too.
deserve things that are good? It's
It's
kind of
like pinch me. Is this actually real?
yeah,
I was forward thinking because there has been so much change that we've both had in our lives over the past 9 months, even just year. What would you like to accomplish in the next 9 months, year?
I think just, continued stability, whether that is, because look, I love being a car girl, it's so much fun, I love with events, but, obviously, that's not my, dream goal forever, and I don't know if, career or family or what I'm gonna, really feel dive into, maybe both even. Obviously, I already have a family, but I just mean, I don't know where I know where I'd like the future with me and my boyfriend to go, but, just kind of, trying to figure out what that's gonna look like. Nothing crazy the next year or anything, but especially the next 9 months, but just, kind of figuring out, what I wanna do and just more intentionality with my kids. I think every day I realize how much older they're getting, and I think I've always said this, that, my kids one day will be like, "Hey, mom, we kinda lost you for, a year and a half." We just kind of, and I mean, to that, I would say fair. I think, I was always here. I'm always around my children. They're with me all the time. But it just being present and really soaking up those times and those memories and stuff like that. And I don't think I did, which I'm not getting down on myself. I think it was been impossible for me to be top notch, perfect, whatever, going through all this grief and this getting out of fight or flight and all of that. So I think with all that being said, I just want to continue to be more stable, to find myself, and to just flourish all my relationships that I have, and just spend more time with my friends and my family. My kiddos, number one. Abby, what do you want to accomplish in the next 9 months?
Well, first and foremost, I would love to just keep the podcast going because I think the break was necessary. We both were so busy and literally
Yeah.
shifting our lives at the
Uh-huh.
same time. And also, yeah, like there really wasn't, we could have done it, but it was just, there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I would love, Laura and I love this to do this. And we've been asked by a decent amount of people, like, when are
Kind of
you going to come
shocking.
out with another episode? It is
Yeah.
shocking.
And we're like,
Very,
what?
but
That whole thing? We loved
it's a
it.
whole
But we
thing
were
of
like,
us being like, we need to trust that like
we
people
should
like
do
this as
this.
much as
Yeah.
we do. So that is definitely something. But also like I would love to pick back up painting. Like I haven't painted in a while, over a year actually. Um, and or just like graphic design. I just want to like tap a little bit more into my art creative skills. I mean, doing my house, like redoing my house right now, that is what is satisfying my creative brain. But I don't know, like I loved painting too and graphic designing, so I'll probably get back into that, and then also just like keep growing in my career with this company that I'm working for now. And but also I want to like start, I don't know, I want to try something new. I don't know what that would be yet. Maybe like pottery, or I just want to like try something new.
I always wanted to do a pottery class.
Have you?
No, I wanted to, especially when I was like single and like I was just like trying to get out there.
You made a good point with like spending more time with like your friends and family. I definitely want to do that. Maybe come up with new date night ideas with Tyler. I would love to bring like a guest on the podcast. I know it's a little complex because it's not just that straightforward, but that would be fun to do.
Yeah, I think we could figure it out though. I mean, we're
Mhm.
smart girls. We
We
got
are very
this.
smart girls. I guess just in general, just like slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
I wish we had grass here. I would really go step on grass without shoes on because that sounds really nice. But
You're about to be in some grass though.
yeah, I will be, and I will be
Very
stepping
soon.
on it. Was there anything else that you wanted to accomplish, or
Yeah, I mean, just continue. Maybe get more back into styling. I think that would be cool. I mean, that's kind of like me kind of figuring out, rediscovering like my passions and stuff now that I'm not in survival mode and just like, just
and you are really, really talented. Like I
so,
am never gonna stop saying you should do this
yeah.
because so if anybody out there needs a stylist,
Thank
hit
you,
your
thank
girl
you, thank
up.
you. And also like, I don't know, like I feel like me and you kind of had a lot of conversations today. We won't get like in depth with, but just like, I don't know, like like I had issues with like faith and religion and stuff and like kind of just like redefining what that looks like for me and stuff like that. I
Mhm,
think would be just cool. Just like getting back to how I was and just who I am and what I believe
mhm.
in and just with on all fronts,
Yeah.
relationship, family, just all of that too. Cause
Mhm.
I think you kind of just survive. It's the
Yeah.
only way I can describe it. So I think that would
Yeah.
be all of those things are
Well,
really important to me. So
I'm excited in like a year from now to look back and be like, whoa,
what do we
remember that?
do?
Yeah. Yeah. What is one piece of advice that you yourself today would give your past self like a year ago, 9 months ago?
Oh, like slow down, girlfriend. Like, just take a chill pill and breathe, and everything's gonna be okay. And you gonna figure it out and just like slow down.
Hmm.
And you're not missing anything at all. And everything is gonna work out.
Yeah.
So
I think we all could use a little bit of that advice, actually. It's very simple, but it's very helpful.
yeah, and like when
Like,
I mean, I'm sure y'all in so many nicer ways told me that, but it's just kind of like, you don't really hear it. And then you
no,
look back and you're like,
you're gonna
you're
do
so
you.
stressed for what?
Right.
For
Right.
what?
I'd
Like,
agree with that for sure.
yeah. What about you, Abby?
I would say you know what you're doing. Stop doubting yourself, trust yourself, lean into it, and like take the chance, take the risk. The worst
Mhm.
that's going to happen is like someone says no, but if you don't try, then you may never know how great something could be. So I
True.
feel like take the risk, take the chance, and trust yourself, and also be kind to yourself because I think it's so easy for people to just include, like, obviously for me to like be like, oh, I could be better at this or whatever the case may be. But I really like, I feel like both of us do. We just need to be more kind to ourselves and like patient and like just appreciate everything that we've done so far,
Yeah.
because there's no
Agree.
need to be like that hard, on yourself. It's just you got to be your own friend too.
100%.
Also, it's okay to say no to things you don't want to do too. 'Cause I feel like I used to kind of say like sure to like whatever, but You don't have you don't
I used to
have
say
to
yes a lot
say
more now than I do now. I'm like, no, that's not
right,
for me. That
exactly.
doesn't align for what I want and my future and my
If
values.
if it's not
No.
benefiting you, there's just no need. If someone's upset that you turned something down, okay, let them be. It's not your problem.
There are very select people that are really, yeah, that really care about their opinions on how they view my decision. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
Yes.
like, you ain't walk shit, baby.
Guess what time it is now?
Game time.
Yes,
Woo,
our
woo,
favorite time ever is game time. We love games. We love games. So Laura and I have been doing this
Abby,
thing
hold
that's
on.
like
I have to tell
what?
you something, and I want to get
What?
your live reaction on the pod. I will let you know
What?
that I believe now, or I think maybe even starting the beginning of the year, I did discontinue my GeoGuessr subscription.
That's
So
you really that I thought you were about to say something like crazy. Okay, Laura. I forgive you. That is thank you for telling me.
do you know
Oh
that
my
everyone in
god.
my life says this about me is like I tee things up to be so dramatic, and then they're
Yeah.
like, that was it. Okay. Can
The
we
worst is
just
when you like go and I'm like, "What? Did you just?" Oh
no,
my gosh.
the worst is when I like text somebody, I'm like, oh my gosh. Or I'm like, and then I like ghost you for like 4 hours and they're
Yeah,
like,
that's just so mean. You gotta
yeah,
say.
I love the drama moment. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, I'm really sad that there's no GeoGuessr, but like we don't even really play that anyways, so
I
it's
know that's
fine.
fair.
But what we have been doing, and this is just like brain rot for me and Laura, I think a little bit, is we have good morning texts that we've saved in an album, and we're gonna just read off a couple of these because we're basically saying good morning, and then we're calling each other something just very specific and
Crazy.
random. So, okay, this is what we do, like not like almost every day or so.
Almost every day.
So, and this is us texting. I say, "Happy Sunday, my little pot sticker."
I said, good morning, Kim Trail from a private jet.
Good morning, steak and eggs with a side of coffee.
Good morning, inchworm.
Good morning, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Good morning, frozen grapes with lime juice and watermelon jello packet on top.
Oh my gosh, that actually sounds so good. Good morning, reusable TJ Maxx shopping bag.
Happy Sunday to my Philly cheesesteak quesadilla.
Oh my god. Good morning, stovetop stuffing out of a box.
Good morning, great white shark.
Good morning, Moscow Mule.
Good morning, my little emotional support water bottle.
Love that one. Good morning, grasshopper on a stick.
Good morning, my little butter pecan scoop in a waffle cone.
Good morning, sweet niblet.
Good morning, fire hydrant.
Good morning, life raft on the Titanic.
Good morning, fiddlestick.
Oh, good morning, sea sponge.
Good morning, dead possum on the side of an old dirt road.
Yeah, that one was really nice. Good morning, my little tempura sushi roll with eel sauce and soy sauce.
Good morning, lead from a mechanical pencil.
Oh my god. Good morning, yogurt parfait.
I don't know if we're keeping this one, but
I
good morning, men that use golf as their excuse to be an alcoholic and hide from their wives.
we have to use that because that's so funny.
Not all.
Good morning, blue light glasses with no prescription.
Good morning, Pink Pony Pub in the Gulf Shores of Alabama.
Good morning, pickled red onion.
Good morning, Pumpernickel Muffin.
Good morning, vodka pickle shot.
Good morning, Blue Jay.
Good morning, gumdrop button.
Good morning, Strawberry and Cream Cough Drop.
Good morning, broken pinky toe.
Good morning, Cockadoo.
Good morning, popsicle stick.
Good morning, Poorly Decorated Gingerbread House.
I love that one. I think I ran out.
And then I have one last one. Good morning, Turkey.
Oh, good morning, tahine seasoning on the rim of a margarita.
Right on, sister.
That is right on. So yeah, this is
So
what we spend our time doing in the morning with each other. It's just
this is what we were doing.
quite
So, Abby,
random.
this is something near and dear to my heart, okay? And if you know me, you know I'm a music girly because I like to feel my feelings. And we need to talk about something devastating.
Yeah,
Our
it
Spotify
is.
Wrapped. I I almost don't want to talk about it because it's actually very sad for me.
Yours is worse than mine,
Yeah.
but they're
So
both
apparently, for the top, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months out of the year, Zach Bryan was my number one. And, say what you will about any of that drama that happened, but I normally believe the girl. And that's all I'm going to say on that because your girl's been in a very, you know, emotionally and abusive relationship, emotionally abusive and abusive relationship. So I think that's the first time I ever said that on the internet. Anyway, so I got her. Could she make it up? I mean, sure. Would that be crazy? Yeah. Why else would he give her $12 million? I don't know. We're not here to argue that. That's none of my business. That's literally none of my business. I'm just saying, it doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy to listen to him anymore. Will I say
yeah.
I'll never listen to him again? I don't know. But it's not looking so good. So anyway, so most of my Spotify rep was Zach Bryan, and it's pretty depressing. Number one. And then Taylor Swift, my girl, and then Noah Richardson, which I have talked, I think, on the first episode of this podcast. He's like a 22-year-old kid, and he literally like he's a big deal in my world, but I wouldn't say he's like Taylor Swift level, but I'm in his top 100 listeners, Abby. Think about that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's me and
That's
his
a
mom, I think, are streaming.
I mean, his mom. That's a
No,
pretty
he
big deal. Do you think they'll invite you to Christmas this year?
maybe, who knows? I've got
I
like
think
8
they
Christmases
will.
to go to. Maybe I'll fit it in. And then man, it's gonna be really embarrassing because I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Honest Staff. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like that would be called that.
So yeah, he talks a lot about depression, and he writes a unalive letter to his girlfriend. If
Did you
he
hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Teddy made an appearance with his
Oh, you
yawn.
meant an old
Sorry.
parents. But yeah, he wrote an unalive letter to his girlfriend if he were to ever do that. And it just is an apology and is like really sad. And so that was like my number one song stream by him.
Mm,
Because relatable.
that does check
Um,
out. Yeah.
it does check out. And then Sabrina Carpenter, because
I love her. It does kind of suck because Zach Bryan, I always loved is I still like, but I can't do it right now. Anytime it comes on, I'm like, Alexa, next. Like I can't do it. Maybe I will eventually. I don't know. It's
I
crazy
know.
how that was your number one artist that you've listened to, and now it's like you can't even
I know. Because
handle.
it's
Yeah.
just, you try to separate the art from the artist, but
Hard, yeah.
my top song was Head Sick, which was that Honest Ave song that I just talked about. And then my top album was Eternal Sunshine
Ooh.
by Ariana Grande, which shocked me.
Yeah, some of
Wh
mine were surprising too, and Tyler's like, "Well, it literally is what you listen to." I'm like, "I know, but it just doesn't make sense."
Pop is my number one, which I thought would be country, to be honest, but
Pop is?
pop was my number one, genre. My genres that I listen to are pop,
Because you're
country,
not
hip
on
hop.
Spotify, are you? Or are you Apple
No, this
Music?
is Apple Replay. It's the
Ah,
knockoff version, but it's pop,
the
country.
knockoff.
I don't know, Apple gives Android for whatever reason, and
Yeah, it doesn't
Apple Music
really.
does give Android. Uh, pop, country, hip hop, alternative, and R&B soul. So
Mhm.
those are that checks out.
Mhm.
We have a visitor, and she
We
doesn't want to be on
do.
camera, but she is chilling.
She's present.
She's present.
My top artists, number one is Morgan Wallen, and people say bad things about him too, but so
Yeah.
maybe it's not the most proud number one, but I do love his music. Number two is Drake,
Facts.
another controversial one. Number three is
You
Billie
know,
Eilish. Three is Billie
rock on,
Eilish, the queen herself.
rock on.
Uh, Number four is Drake White. I can't
I
stress
love
this
Drake.
enough. You have to, whoever hasn't listened to him, go listen to him. And number five is Post Malone, my favorite. What?
Sorry, Mary also was talking about this brownie.
I love that.
Post Malone. No, I love all of those options. Those are great.
Yeah. So that was pretty much it. The songs I don't really feel like I listen. My number one was Too Sweet by Hosier, and I really don't feel like I listened to that more than maybe I did. I mean, apparently
Have
I
you
did.
have you heard about the Spotify Wrapped controversy?
No.
Like, a lot of people say you should look into, like, Recipify. Baba Boy. Recipify and all of that because apparently the numbers that they're giving you on the Spotify Wrapped aren't correct. And they
I
just put, like,
I
top
would
artists up
believe
there.
that makes sense to me
Like, a
because I
lot of
didn't.
people have said, like, Zach Bryan or even, like, Morgan Wall just things like that where they're like, I mean, I listened to him a good bit, but, like, I don't
Yeah,
think he's my number 1."
right.
And, like, Hozier, stuff like that, that they're like, "This is kinda confusing." So, apparently, they're, like, taking the data out of Spotify and putting it into other options. I'll have to send you this TikTok I listened to
Yeah,
today.
that it makes
And
sense. I don't feel like I listen to some of
I
these songs that much.
yeah.
Um, okay, well, and then that's something that usually me and Laura like to do is like our current song fixation. Do you have one? Like a song you've been just listening to on repeat?
No, I have cheesy girl me. Sorry if Mary Austin's been wiggling and talking during the rest of this, but I'm a mom and we almost
No,
are
we
about to
love
go
it.
basketball game. So
It's better
we gotta do
with
what we gotta
her.
do. And so we okay,
He
come
said,
on.
"Hey, I actually have the mic now. This is my
Say
show,
something.
right?"
So the can we be
She's
done?
so
Thank you. So what was I gonna say? Oh, no, I've been listening to, as cheesy as it is, an album.
cute.
I've been listening. I have this like album called Lover Girl, and it's like all these love songs that I've had forever saved
Aw.
onto this album. And it's just like the way I wanted to feel when I was in love. And lo and behold, here I am.
And here you
And
are.
so I've been listening to that album
And
pretty
it's your
frequently. And
soundtrack
they're all
now.
just, yeah, it's just like old songs. There's some Zach Bryan songs on there, which is sad. But a lot of Taylor Swift and just other songs that
Mhm.
make me feel loved and
Warm and
in
fuzzy.
love and warm and
My
fuzzy.
my current song fixation is "Messy" by Lola Young, and I know that that's, like, a trending sound right now, but, like, I
Love
just
it.
love it so much. I love it so much.
I've been in a relationship like
So,
that before, for sure.
yeah.
Mar
Um,
lovely. We've moved
I
that.
think I guess the last thing we just wanted to do look at her, she's so cute. Look at her eyes, pretty. We just have 2 questions for you, our audience. Um, the first question is, what is the craziest life change that you've experienced just in 2024? And the other question is, what is everyone getting for gifts this year for the holidays? Like, what are you getting your boyfriend or girlfriend? What are you getting your family? What are you getting your in-laws? What are you getting your friends, your siblings, your pets? I don't
Give us some
know.
ideas. Give
What
us
are you
some ideas.
getting?
And I just wanna know. I'm curious. Also, like, maybe I wanna buy it for myself. So,
Exactly. I have been gifting myself a lot this year. So I think it's time I gift other people, but
I don't know. I will always you know what? Her husband's I mean, Abby makes her own money, so this is literally just a joke, but her husband's debit card, hates to see me coming, that's for sure.
that, yeah, yeah. I love it
Because
though. I love spending.
'Cause
I
I'm
love
like,
to
"Oh my gosh, I mean, you know what you should do? You should get this. You should get this. You actually should
And
get that."
yeah,
And I'm right.
he's like, Laura, you've got to stop. You've got to stop having your. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it either way. So,
Yeah, just regardless. I'm just
um,
gonna get good stuff when Laura tells me to.
yeah, everything has been so, and I don't mind spending some money here and there. I really don't.
There you go. You got a
I guess
job?
I do have a job. Thank you. Isn't that weird? We both have a job now.
Whoop, whoop.
We want to know from you guys, what do you want to hear us talk about? What are
Yeah.
some topics that you want to hear us talk about? Because this episode obviously is just kind of like a recap, but we really want to make sure we're, you know, hitting all the
Yeah, what do you wanna hear from
ends.
us? What
Yeah.
are your questions? We got
Anything.
some good advice to give.
Hmm.
We got some lessons learned,
We do.
some stories to tell. Maybe
Yes.
not all of them, but some of them.
Some we can't, some we can. But yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I think that's everything. Laura, you want to wrap her up?
Oh my gosh, yes. So just don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, wherever you listen to on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and then also our TikTok and Instagram. It is all under the path less talked about. Thank y'all so much. I hope you loved our new episode. I can't wait to be back every week talking to Abby as if we're not on FaceTime 24/7 yapping anyway, but now we're just gonna let y'all into it and we're gonna be a little bit more intentional about it. So
Yes, and we love you, and we're so happy that you guys like to listen to us. So you'll be hearing more from us, but thank you for tuning in, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
peace out. Bye.
Bye.